Happy Sabbath, everyone. Today I'll be doing the mission story entitled Street Preacher. This story comes from Papua New Guinea, located in Africa. Peter always wondered what God's plan was for his life. Both his parents were school teachers and avid Christians, so they taught him a lot about God and how to pray and many other things. Yet, as he grew, becoming a teenager, his friends influenced him to do things that gradually distanced him from God. And eventually, once he reached adulthood, he continued to ask God what his plan was for his life, as God had led him to a small coastal town for the past 7 months, and he continued to ask God and wondered what his plan was. One day, he decided that he was going to fast. So he fasted for almost the entire day. Around sunset, he saw 3 young men walking down the street, and he felt the urge to go and speak to these young men. So he decided to follow his intuition. And when he arrived and spoke to them, they introduced themselves as street preachers who felt led to preach the gospel in small coastal towns like the one he was living in. And their names were Thomas, George, and Junior. Peter, after dwelling on this, he continued to ask God what his purpose was. And one night, he fell asleep with the Bible on his chest. He had a compelling dream that drew him to Matthew 10, where he read about how God performed many miracles using his disciples. And this is when he realized what his true calling was. So he followed those same street preachers he'd met the day before. And he decided to travel with them, preaching alongside them, carrying their bags. And after he decided to depart from them, he attended a 2-month training course that taught him how to share the beliefs of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And on his first solo expedition, brought him through the thick rainforests of Papua New Guinea, where he found a small church that he began to evangelize in. And quickly, a middle-aged looking woman, went over to him and asked him if he was interested in becoming the church's pastor, because even though operating for over 25 years, they still didn't have a pastor. And she was asking if he was interested in the role, in the position. So he agreed, serving as a volunteer leader for an entire year. And even during that time, he continued to seek God as to what his purpose was. And after serving his time as a voluntary leader, he then realized and came to the conclusion that it was time for him to attend ministry school, specifically the Almora Adventist School of Ministry. Before he could even grasp or think about how he's going to get into the school, one day he came home and suddenly there was a church member waiting for him. He gave him a receipt telling him that all of his school fees has been paid and he was now an official student of the Almora Adventist School of Ministry. And even now, while he's attending many different classes, the hardest one being Hebrew, he still says that I can do all things through Christ. And he is determined to complete his time in the ministry school so that he can become a great evangelist. Your generous offerings today will be used to help Almora Adventist School of Ministry. to equip men and women with the ability to share the gospel, spread the gospel, and bring others to Christ.